Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Simon, the Crypto Insider, your insider for crypto knowledge and alpha going into the next bull market. Feels like the bull market's here. We've got Bitcoin continuing to show strength, continuing to shoot up. Last time I came out with a video, we were around about 33,500 and we're up above 37 at the time of recording this one. So Bitcoin has continued its bullish momentum. This is something that I said I expected us to see. I expected us to start to climb as we had broken what was very, very key resistance around the 32K level. And in this video, I'm going to be having a little look through some of the other altcoins and cryptocurrencies that I think are going to do well over the next few weeks. Bitcoin has obviously made a fairly substantial move, but we do have a couple of others that I think are about to make big moves. Before I really dive into the content, I'd also just like to apologize for not coming out with a video for the past few weeks. I had been traveling. I'm also working full time. I'm also doing a lot of stuff on the crypto side in terms of airdrop farming, in terms of leverage trading as well. And to be honest, when I combined all these things together, something had to give. Obviously, it's been a busy time in terms of like the whole trading front, and content creation, unfortunately, has slipped down the list over the last couple of weeks, and I've struggled to get on and do a video, but I'm definitely going to make it a priority going forward because it's really important. I'm definitely still trying to grow this channel, and I obviously want to come up with that great content, with that alpha for all of my followers, all of my viewers, all of my subs, to ensure that we are at the cutting edge of the crypto market and that you are well prepared to maximize those opportunities to make profit throughout this next bull run. And that is going to be my commitment to you, to ensure that these videos are coming out thick and fast, they're quick, they're frequent, and I want to make sure all of you are prepared to jump on those opportunities as they happen. And that's going to be the focus of the video today. So, there's not really too much more I have to say about the Bitcoin price other than we're continuing this high level consolidation in here, very close to our yearly high, which is coming in just above the 38,000 level. And I do think that at some point, Bitcoin will make another push and we will actually see this market run on a little bit higher. If we just flip over to the weekly chart, we can kind of see here right now, I'm still targeting this 0.5 retracement level around about 42,000. So that is the push I'm waiting for. Obviously, this Tom DeMark weekly 9 put the brakes on the upward move ever so slightly, but I do feel at some point we will push higher, especially after this consolidation. We can kind of just see on a weekly chart here, we've got our second potential sort of long wick to the downside forming here. This kind of tells us that there is still buying pressure in the market. And just touching on some of the fundamental factors that happened or have happened recently, obviously we've seen big news come out around Binance, around CZ, obviously done a plea deal with the DOJ to ensure that Binance will remain in its current state, its current capacity. Obviously, a lot of its US market share is going to be lost now. The DOJ are going to have complete oversight of all of Binance's operations and users. I think that was part of the deal that got agreed. And obviously, it's a massive, I think it's 4.3 billion fine, but Binance can pay that. CZ can pay the 50 million or whatever he was fined for. I mean, he is a billionaire. So I think all round, it probably is a pretty good deal. And the most important thing is that Binance investors are protective, funds are safe, or SAFU, as CZ likes to call them. And ultimately, there's this whole anxiety, this whole worry that the DOJ are going to come in and they're going to forcefully shut down Binance and all of its operations. That risk has been completely averted now. So the market now has clarity. And for me, that was the big black swan that was still out there. What is going to dump this market? What is going to send us back down to $20,000 and below? Well, if something happens with Binance, if Binance get shut down or forced into liquidation, or all the users lose their funds, whatever it is. But, we know that now is no longer the case, and we know that is now not a risk. And therefore, the market has certainty that actually the Binance situation, the potential black swan, that has all been resolved now, and it has complete clarity now. And also, you have to think about this, that the regulators have these ETF approvals on their desk. I mean, let's be honest, they would never going to want to approve an ETF whilst Binance has such a stronghold on the market. And obviously there was all this talk about potential price manipulation that Binance would be able to pull from their dominant position, the fact that US users were using the platform via VPNs or not through not having to KYC, opening up accounts before that came into practice. Yeah, I mean, it really is, for me, it's a positive outcome. Obviously, the crypto space itself will miss CZ. He was a great ambassador for the space. He made a lot of decisions, obviously with a growth objective in mind. And arguably, if he hadn't have made those decisions to grow the company, he might not got in such hot water with the SEC or the DOJ, shall we say. But also, crypto wouldn't have seen the growth it had experienced had CZ not been pushing it with Binance in terms of coming out with leverage products, coming out with all their staking products, coming out with the, smart chain, everything like that. So yeah, I think it is probably time for CZ to move on, and it feels like a little bit of an end of an era. But obviously, the guy that's coming in to take over the reins, he has a regulatory background, and I think that's really what the space needs. The space probably needs now those characters with, that are friendly, regulator friendly, to help really drive the next phase of adoption, which is going to be more around institutional adoption, and it's going to be more around individual clients that are being advised by wealth managers and the advisors. If you got, for example, the financial advisor now at Morgan Stanley can put them into an ETF product, whereas last year or the year before he couldn't do that. Plus, he can make commission on that, so he's incentivized to then sell those products to those investors. So, I think overall, crypto is moving in the right direction. And for me personally, it's just very, very difficult to see Bitcoin breaking lower through support with the ETF approval so close. So, we're talking about it could be 5 or 6 weeks away now until that ETF gets approved. Are we really going to see Bitcoin roll over here? I don't think so. So I am bullish on Bitcoin, but Bitcoin has already moved quite a lot. And one of the other charts I would like to look at is Ethereum, because if we see Bitcoin, obviously it's sort of taken out its high from April, and it's sort of tracking higher than that. If we just actually sort of go back and look at the percentage gain over the April high, we can see. I mean, Bitcoin was sort of well above it. I mean, we are tracking around about sort of 22-23% above where we were in April. In contrast, if we look at Ethereum, we can actually see Ethereum is still below its April high, and it's just actually approaching it. So we're still a couple of percentage off. And if we were just to put on, let's say, for example, Ethereum can play catch up, where does that put us? That puts us around about sort of 2,600, been a 23% gain. And obviously then it comes into sort of challenge the resistance from back in the sort of early 2022, after that sort of first peak of that sort of first sort of sell-off of the bear market in Ethereum, where it obviously based out, found support around about 2,500. So I think Ethereum moving to 2,500, 2,600 in the short term is definitely something that is likely. And actually, for that reason, I feel like Ethereum is probably the better bet right now, or the better cryptocurrency to be long over Bitcoin, just because I feel like that rotation is about to come. So Bitcoin looking good, looking strong. Ethereum is another one I like. And then we start to look at what is actually under Ethereum. And obviously some of these coins have already run. If we take a look at, for example, Solana, we've seen a very impressive move. We're actually coming up on a Tom DeMark 9 on the weekly now for Solana. So maybe Solana could be due for a short-term correction. However, if Bitcoin and Ethereum remain strong, it's hard to see that correction going too far. Obviously, AVAX has also been a very impressive run, but if we look at Ethereum, I just think Ethereum probably has a big move to make at some point. If we look at maybe Ethereum proxies such as Matic, so we can see Matic has broken out. It's actually on a pretty strong pullback right now. But I think if Ethereum breaks out, Matic probably will reverse and look to go higher. So I think Matic is also a good play. We've seen things like AVAX like absolutely explode. I remember picking some of this up for around about like in the 50s, like under 60 cent not too long ago, and yeah, it's just been very impressive. Obviously, it's sort of playing into that sort of gaming narrative, which is a narrative that I personally really like, and I will be coming up with a few videos shortly on some gaming narratives. If we sort of go down, one of the positions I have been adding to and building over the last week or two is Arbitrum. So I do expect Arbitrum to get moving to the upside, especially if Ethereum breaks out. I think this will be one of the coins to run. So if we just actually look at Arbitrum, obviously we've got its all-time high around about 180, currently just above $1. And I think if Ethereum does break out, then Arbitrum, I don't see why it won't run up and probably challenge its all-time high around about 180. So I do like Arbitrum as a bit of a catch-up play. Similar thing with Optimism. Optimism showing maybe a little bit more strength, but we've got its all-time high at around about 320 as well. So I think things like Arbitrum and Optimism will probably run along with Ethereum too. So they're other ones I'm looking at. I'm also looking at some of the meme coins here. So let's just check out Pepe, something I covered before. Pepe seems to be lagging a little bit. Obviously, we had the push up. It's correcting right now. But I think as long as Pepe, we just kind of look at this on the daily, I think as long as Pepe can kind of hold its current levels, we're sort of on this sort of support here. Obviously, we tested it a few times. So we've deviated below it. If Pepe can now sort of close back above, sort of call it sort of 105, then I do think Pepe can start to make a run here. And certainly what we can sort of see on an asset like Pepe, we can kind of put ourselves sort of descending trend line on here too. So that kind of be coming in around about there. So if we can get this breakout on Pepe, if I go down to 4 hour, it's probably a little bit cleaner. Then obviously we can see that trend line coming in and providing resistance. And obviously when we're hitting it, we are sort of like bouncing off and coming back down. So I'll be looking on something like this as a break, possibly a retest to then get long Pepe. I do have a small long at the moment on it. Another one that's treated me quite well is not Phantom. I'm looking for Fetch. That's Phantom against Sol. So you're definitely going to want to have Sol over Phantom right now. Sometimes it might, at some point, it might turn around, but I'm not convinced on it. So here you go. His Fetch as well. So I think AI is going to be another strong narrative. So Fetch AI doing really well over the last, over the last sort of few weeks, over 100% up. And what else have we got here? Render as well is on here somewhere, which has started to break out too. Just take a look at that one. It's another AI narrative. So yeah, we got the breakout of Render. Looks like it's come back to retest, and potentially we could start running again. See all-time high around about $8 right now. It's 3.2. So plenty of potential upside there. So I think, look, there's a list. I mean, I have a list of altcoins that I am looking at accumulating. So what I'd like to do is come out with a list of narratives and also altcoins within those narratives that I think will outperform the rest of the crypto market over the next year or two. I mean, I've shared a few of them with you there. I do think that Sol has a really bright future. So I think, you know, in terms of L1s, Solana, Avalanche, IMX, I think are all going to do very well, sort of tapping into the gaming space, especially with the latter two as well. Obviously, AVAX with its subchains too. I think those coins are going to do well in terms of like more of a blue chip investment. I think the gaming space is going to be huge. I really like VRA. There's a few others I like. Nakamoto Games has done very, very well. Playable games as well on AVAX is really starting to take off. So, and then you've got individual games, things like Alluvium, things like Shrapnel. So at some point I want to go through and I want to look at narratives. So you've got obviously gaming, you've got AI, which I've touched upon, projects like Fetch, Render, etc. You've then got the Solana ecosystem, because I think Solana is going to do very well. So you're going to have tokens and coins around that. You've also got things like Rollbit as well, which I think will do exceptionally well. I still think Rollbit is very undervalued. So tapping into something like GambleFi. And then you've got memes too. And I think the meme coins are really going to outperform as well. We know that when retail starts to come into this market and meme coins start to move, they're a very popular one with new traders, new investors into crypto, and I can see there being another massive meme season. So yeah, I think my main narratives are gaming, AI, Solana ecosystem, and then meme coins. And I will come out with some content over the next couple of weeks, probably doing a video on each narrative, one a week or something, just to show these are the coins that I'm interested in. This is what I'm looking to do. This is what I'm looking to accumulate. These are going to be my buy-ins. Is a coin ready to buy right now, or do I feel like it needs to come off to get a better entry? But in general, we are in a period of accumulation. This really is accumulation season now for the next bull run. So I don't think you can go too wrong with accumulating here. Just be mindful at some point we probably will get a correction and we will see pullbacks in quite a few of these coins. And obviously if you're somebody that wants to have some ammo to hand to be able to deploy into that dip, then certainly it probably be prudent to leave a little bit on the side. But I know for someone like me, I'm just looking to accumulate what I can. Also, I think launch pads will do very well too. We've seen like explosive moves in things like CedarFi, in things like Meta V pad, BSC pad, and some of the Bluezilla launch pads as well. Ava launch as well, which is one on AVAX I've picked up a bit of. So yeah, I'll probably cover those launch pads within the gaming video. And obviously I'll just be coming out with more regular updates. I'd like to try and do sort of 2 to 3 updates on the market each week to tell you my thoughts on where we currently are, where the market's going to be heading over the next couple of days, from sort of short term up to medium to long term. And then obviously I want to come out with some sort of bull market pick videos around those narratives that I've just explained. So I'm going to leave it there. Hopefully this content has been of some use to you. If it has been, please do smash a like. Please do subscribe. I promise you there will be a lot more content coming up very shortly. Plenty of alpha to cover. So don't miss out on that. And I will see you soon.